Hey, good morning. My name is Tom Lee, and I'm the wine specialist here at Davidson's in Centennial. Today we're going to be talking about sparkling wines and/or champagne. I'm not going to go into specifics how the wine is made so much as the wide variety I wanted to introduce you to. Sparkling wine comes from all over the world. It's been around for centuries, but it really started becoming a valuable item in terms of quality and taste during the 16th century. All these wines have one thing in common. They start off with a still wine or a base wine like any other wine. The question is, after that, how do they get the bubbles into the wine? And what usually means is it's called a second fermentation. It usually happens in the bottle or in a tank. If it happens in the bottle, usually the price costs more because it requires more time and more labor. So a classic French champagne goes through a second fermentation in the bottle, and then you can go on from there. So if you start over here, the French champagne, Dom Perignon, is probably one of the most famous champagnes. Dom Perignon, actually, people think he's the one who invented sparkling wine or champagne, but actually he's the one that kind of learned to tame the bubbles in the wine. Sparkling wine has been around for centuries, literally. What happens is the wine goes through a second fermentation in the bottle, and it was unintended back then, and was looked as kind of a fault in the wine. Later on, Dom Perignon and other people figured out, hey, this can be a desirable trait in a wine. Okay, so Dom Perignon and then Veuve, for example, are the classic examples of a French champagne. Now, usually you can find other sparkling wines in France, and what they do is they call them Cremant de Bourguignon, Cremant de Bordeaux. What's wonderful about these is they're made in the same traditional style as a French champagne in terms of the fermentation process, but usually at about a third of the price. There's 6 different ways you can make a sparkling wine, but basically just to cover 2 of them, you can either go through the second fermentation in the bottle like a French champagne, or you can do it in a tank and then put it in a bottle. So when you do the second fermentation in the bottle, usually the price is some more money. So then you have the French champagnes. Over here, you get into Italian Proseccos, or else something like this, which is called Franciacorta, which comes from northern Italy, and is made in the same style with the same grapes as a traditional French champagne. Second fermentation in the bottle. And then you have Proseccos, which goes into the tank method, which are good value. They taste a little bit younger, where these has a little bit more character since they've been aged a longer time. Others, couple styles of sparkling wine from Italy. You have Moscato d'Asti from the Piedmont region, which has a little bit of sweetness to it and not as volatile as bubbles as in the French champagne or other sparkling wines. These are 2 wonderful wines called Brichetto and Lambrusco, which are sparkling wines from the Piedmont region. Wonderful, wonderful sparkling red wines to go with, for example, charcuterie. And then Spain, they call it cava in Spain. They also use the tank method there. Australia, they do a sparkling Shiraz there, a red sparkling Shiraz. Even South Africa has gotten in the game, which is a wonderful, wonderful wine right here, made in the same style as the French champagne. And then you have a fun wine, New Age, from South America, Argentina. A little bit sweeter, served on the rocks. And then a sparkling Malbec from Argentina. And then you even get into domestic, of course, from California, sparkling wines there. Oregon does some great ones. And Gruet from New Mexico. So this is just a brief overview of the wide, big selection you have in terms of sparkling wine. So treat yourself. Open up the possibility of trying some different wines with some different foods. Thank you very much.